Ahoy crew and welcome back. Today, we're gonna actually be feeding my sourdough starter, something that I started back in COVID in 2020, and I've been continuing to feed for over 6 years. The sourdough starter is very easy to put together, and although a little bit daunting at first because it wasn't something I'd really ever made, I knew it was something I wanted to try, and I wanted to do it with my kids. And so together, we actually started a sourdough starter, and it was something that was really a lot easier than I expected it to be. And once we got it going, it became something that gets used in our household all the time. Now, I feed it every day as long as I'm using it to bake. Otherwise, it gets put in the fridge and it gets to stay there until I decide I'm gonna use it again. But as I'm feeding it right now, I've shown you lots of videos of the feedings. I would love to walk you through that process and show you how it's done. So if you'd like to see me feed my sourdough starter, let's do it together. All right, let's get started feeding my sourdough starter. I'm starting with about 200 grams of water. Today I landed at 208 grams, and that is perfectly fine. We'll just match that with our flour. I'm using King Arthur bread flour, adding the same 208 grams to keep equal parts flour and water. This is the feeding method that has worked really well for my starter. Next, I'm going to use 100 grams of starter from the previous day. Today I had 104 grams. I'm going to give that starter a good stir and measure it out and add it right into our flour and water. Now, mix everything together really well, making sure there aren't any pockets of dry flour. This will give me a little over 500 grams of freshly fed starter ready to grow. Then it goes back into my 8-cup Pyrex measuring cup, which gives it plenty of room to grow. I cover it and let it rise until active and roughly doubled, usually about 8 hours for mine. Drop a like, follow along, and thanks for coming to cook with me. I'll see you in the kitchen.